So, shall we start with Coffee and Kareem? Do you get the title there?
Coffee and Kareem. I do get it. Yeah, very, very clever. Which I'm only assuming is a statement or a comment on the film itself.
Absolutely. I mean, definitely. Whoever thought of that title, you're getting a pay rise, I tell you what. And this is a brand new cop comedy directed by Michael Dowes. It stars Ed Helms from The Hangover, Taraji P. Henson, who we love on the show, and also Betty Gilpin, who I saw in The Hunt. She was fantastic in that, and she's also in The Grudge this year. Lots of a very busy year for her already. And basically, it is about a 12-year-old Kareem Manning, who is played by Terence Little Gardenhigh. Blimmin' heck, that's a mouthful. And he hires a criminal to scare his mum's new boyfriend, who is the police officer James Coffey, played by Ed Helms. But it backfires, forcing Coffey and Kareem to team up in order to save themselves from Detroit's most ruthless drug kingpin. And you've also got a lot of dirty cops in here as well. There's lots of twists and turns that you kind of see come in. But shall we have a clip?
Kareem needs to go by a friend's house to pick something up after school. I told him I couldn't do it because of work.
And he specifically asked that you pick him up. Isn't that great? Hello?
Hello. Hi. Sorry, I think the phone cut out for a second. That's awesome. I just think I might be busier than I thought. Just got to check with the captain. I might have some paperwork.
James, if you don't want to do it, just say so.
No, I want to do it. I'm sorry. It's just been a really weird day. This other officer at work called me a racist.
What?
I know. I was like, my girlfriend is black.
Oh, no, you didn't say that, did you?
No, of course not. Maybe. I did. I said it. I said that. Sorry. You know what? I would love to pick up Kareem at school. I really do want to get to know him better.
Really? You don't have too much
paperwork, do you?
Hang on a second. What was that? No paperwork? Hey, all right, cool.
And that was a clip from Coffee and Kareem. Weren't you just laughing your head off at that? So interestingly enough, Joe, you saw this, you rated it, and I was at home one evening. I thought, okay, what can I watch aside from Nicolas Cage films? And this came up, Coffee and Kareem, an 88-minute comedy. The trailer looked kind of interesting, a nice dynamic between Ed Helms and you've got this up-and-coming Terence Little Gardenhigh. My gosh, that name just makes me laugh. I just thought, I've kind of seen this before. It looks a bit like a rip-off of Stuber, which we saw last year with Dave Bautista. Looked very, very similar to that. And so I sat and I watched it. And I absolutely hate this film. I got through half of it and I had to stop for a day and then I had to go back and watch second half because I could feel my body combusting. I could feel myself just getting so frustrated at it. And I don't know whether it's the fact that a lot of us have been in the house for so long, tensions might be high, but I feel like all the frustration, all the anxiety I've had with the coronavirus, everything going on, I'm putting back into this film now because it's not often I come out of a film just absolutely hating it. But this is definitely a case. I just found this film absolutely inappropriate and just offensive on every level. It's not funny, and I know me, I have a really stupid sense of humor. I find anything funny. I find films that are not supposed to be funny. I just thought, just the whole kind of social commentary of this, I think could have been interesting. But the way they go about it is just so in your face. I mean, it really is. It's like, okay, they mention it. Yeah, white guys, don't let your mum marry a white guy unless they're rich. And then just the whole kind of double standards of it. There's a scene where Betty Gilpin, she plays a cops officer. She slaps Ed Helms' butt, and I thought to myself, if that was a man slapping a woman's butt, the film would not be released, period. So I felt like there's a lot of double standards in the film. And like I said, the movie is not funny. I laughed once in the entire film, and it was a joke about Glenn Close, which I didn't find funny. But you've got Ed Helms, and I do find Ed Helms, I think he's irritating. And I just don't think he has the chops. He's playing the exact same character he played in The Hangover. And poor Taraji P. Henson, I thought she did her best with this. But she plays a really whiny, annoying character. And then you've got little Terence Little Gardenhigh, who I think is the most, forget 4 kids in it, I think he's the most annoying child actor I've ever seen in a film. I thought he's just his attitude, the fact that he had to swear every single line. Now, I've got nothing against swearing. I think, we see loads of movies with lots of swearing in it and lots of crude language, but you can't have that substituting actual humor. And every line was F this, F that. He's a 12-year-old kid. He's talking about like women's, vaginas, stuff like that. It's just really repulsive. Like, normally I find it really funny, but like I said, the tone of the film, it is so in your face. Honestly, I had to let this one out. I hated this film. It's the worst film of the year for me. Maybe something will overtake it. I don't know. There's no surprise it's on Netflix, to be honest with you. And yeah, I mean, Betty Gilpin in here, I'm going to forget she was in this and just focus on her in The Hunt, which she was brilliant in. And yeah, man, I don't know what it was. This film had me the wrong way. It felt like an imitation of better cop comedies. And like I talked to you, I spoke yesterday about it. This could have been a really serviceable, run-of-the-mill cop comedy, but instead it was trying to kind of use these double standards to its effect, and I just thought it did not work. And yeah, I don't know whether I'm in the wrong here. I hear it's not getting the best reviews. And yeah, for an 80-minute film, it dragged for me. So yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I hated this. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think I didn't find it as offensive as you did. I think it is intentionally trying to stir the pot. I just thought the film itself just was lacking. Its marketing campaign is brilliant. I looked at some of the posters that they had released for it, and they kind of did variants on like Beverly Hills Cop, Lethal Weapon. They kind of took the mick out of those kind of posters. So when I saw the posters, I thought this was going to be literally set in the 80s, take place in the 80s, and be like a kind of nod to those kind of buddy cop movies of the 80s. You said yourself, it feels like a misstep. It feels like it had potential, but didn't kind of embrace it. And I think you're spot on. I think if they had maybe set it in the 80s, like made it more of a kind of Lethal Weapon type movie, a homage to something like Beverly Hills Cop, I think it would have worked a lot better. And maybe some of the behaviors would have been a bit more kind of acceptable then. But to have it kind of set in the present day and focus on, the kind of racial stuff that it goes into, the sexist stuff that it goes into, you're right, it doesn't feel all too comfortable kind of watching it, I will admit. I think Ed Helms, he just can't carry a film for me. I don't think I've ever seen a film with him in the lead role, which I've kind of really enjoyed. He kind of did the lead role in Tag, which I think we saw a couple of years back.
Yeah.
That was okay, but then he had like a good supporting cast around him. He had John Hamm and people like that. When he's on his own, I don't think he can carry a film very well. I think he's great as a kind of side character or the comic relief, but I just like stick to that. Don't give him a kind of headlining movie. So I don't think he's particularly great. And the relationship between the two lead characters, Coffee and Kareem, if you're doing a buddy cop movie, the relationship needs to be the kind of main focus. That needs to be the heart of the movie. This is Riggs and Murtaugh. This is I just didn't feel invested in the relationship at all. I found the kid to be just so, again, irritating and unlikable. And even towards the end, I just thought he's mean. He never kind of warmed up to Coffee. There was never that kind of development really satisfactory into kind of him going from hating Coffee to kind of going, oh, you know what, I want you to be my kind of stepdad or whatever. Even towards the end, I thought he was kind of obnoxious and mean. So I totally get where you're coming from. I thought it was a big misstep. I think the potential was there to pay homage to 80s movies, and the directors just kind of missed that opportunity completely. Didn't find it as offensive. I have seen worse this year, but it's certainly far from the best as well.